to have it. So you have 3 pages of nonfiction text features, and I want you to glue them in on the next 3 pages. I'm going to go over them quickly. This is going to help you understand the informational text that you're going to be reading for the next several weeks, and so that is why I am giving it to you now. All of these text features have a purpose. They're not just put in there to take up space or to distract you. If there are text features inside of an informational text, you must look at it because information may be provided to you in the text feature that is not in the text, and it'll help you comprehend the text better. So the first thing is, and I'm going to zoom in just a tad, is the nonfiction text features, is the photograph. A photograph is a picture taken with a camera. That's the difference. It is a picture taken with a camera. Now you can see the difference between an illustration, which is a drawing, and a picture from a camera. A sketch could be an illustration, something that's done by a person. Okay? Usually when there is a picture or a photograph, there are words underneath telling you what it's about. And sometimes there's information in that caption that is not in the text. So make sure that you have the caption and you read all the captions after you look at the pictures. It tells you what it's about. Labels can be found, like right here, in diagrams. Now, a lot of times they give that to you if they introduce vocabulary words or a system or something in science of how something works, has different individual parts. They will have labels on their photograph, and that would help you with understanding what each of them looks like, what each of the items look like, what they do, how they work together, and things like that. So this picture is of the respiratory system, and it has the different parts labeled. So this tells you the different parts and where they're located and what they look like. The next thing is a graph. A graph is like a pie graph, a pie chart, a bar graph, a line graph. It organizes information in a visual way. It is so hard when someone gives you just numbers to understand what the numbers mean. So they'll usually give you a chart to help you understand what they're trying to say better. So it's a visual way for you to look at information. Yes, this says 51% to 49% of the human body is made of water, 51%, and other items, 49%. But I can have the numbers, but if I see this picture, I can see it's almost equal. Now the next thing is a table. A table is like it is a chart, and it has information written down in a way for you to organize it. So this one says, how much does your heart beat per minute, per day, per month, per year? So it's easier for you to find this information if it's displayed visually than to go back into the text. Now the next one is a map. A map shows you where things are located. If we're talking about locations of things, it's hard to understand where it's located if you've never been there. So having a map is important. You can also use maps when we're talking about populations, or we're talking about historical events where they happened, or geographical features. So it's not just this is where the states are located. Maps, you can have many different kinds of maps. Now the next thing right here is a diagram. Like I mentioned over here with the labels, a diagram shows the different parts. So a diagram will always have labels of some kind to show you the different parts of the picture. You will see a lot of that in science. Bold print are the dark words or the highlight. They can also be highlighted. If the author wants the words to stand out in some way, whether they're highlighted or they're bold or they're larger text size, that means that they're important. You could probably find them in the back in the glossary, but it's something that you need to take note of because the author did that for a reason. Italics, when used in narrative text, shows thoughts. But when it's used in informational text, it shows that the word is important, just like if it was highlighted or if it's bold. Now, bullet points are the list where you have the points here. It helps create a list, whether it could be any kind of list, actually. And it just helps it organize it better. It's more visually appealing to look at it like this than it just listed in a line. A fact box or a sidebar is usually when you have information that is not a part of the actual text, but it is on the page. That you see a lot in Studies Weekly. It is important for you to look at that information. It is not a part of the main text, but it will give you more information about what is going on the page. Now the next one is the title. The title identifies the topic. It tells you what it's about. It can help you predict what the story is about, or not the story, but the text is about. The title page tells the title. It might have a picture. It tells you who wrote it, who did the pictures, and who published it, meaning who turned it into a physical book, printed it. Your table of contents is at the front. It looks like this. It will tell you where each of the topics or chapters begin. It is at the beginning of the book, usually after the the title page. The index is in the back of the page, or the back pages of the book, and it has specific topics, where the topics found and what pages or page are they found on. So if you wanted to look up arteries, you would look up 75, 76, that word appears on the index. The glossary is where you would find definitions. Our science textbook has that. If it is bold, then it's most likely in the glossary. It's like a mini dictionary. And a heading right here are parts of sections. So if you're looking for something about the brain, you're probably going to read it here. The spinal cord, you're probably going to read it here. It divides it into sections and it tells you what each section is about. So those are your nonfiction text features. If you have them, please make sure that you look at them in your informational text, because they will help you understand it better.